Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Elaina. I am hosting on behalf of Matt and Julie. Today, our expert on the call is Nicole. She has raced the London Marathon. I have not, so I am simply facilitating. You may have noticed I just hit record on the call. These conversations, I always like to tell people they're very laid back, very low key. We also have a small group this evening. So if you have questions, feel free to unmute yourself or you can type a question in the chat. I will monitor it and I can read it out loud. Typically, I ask our expert on the call just to share their personal experience racing the given race, in this case, the London Marathon. The good, the bad, the ugly, any key tips that maybe you wouldn't just get from a simple Google search, right? That you really only get by running the course itself. So Nicole, if you feel comfortable sharing your experience, I will give the floor to you.
Gosh, so much pressure. I didn't know I was going to be the only one. I don't know if I'm an expert on the course. I've run it once, but I did run it last year, so the experience is still relatively fresh. Um, I would say, so we have three attendees. Am I viewing this correctly? Okay. I would love to just open it up for questions, but in general, I would say I think this course is very PRable if that's your goal, particularly if you're maybe in the front of the pack or a faster runner. I'm a solid middle of the pack type of gal, and it gets really crowded in the middle and the back. So kind of just go into this race with a lot of patience because have any of you run other major marathons? Yeah, everybody has. So you know these races are large, they're crowded. Especially the European races are very tight streets, very narrow, right? Whereas, Chicago and New York, you have these big, wide streets. Boston, not so much. Boston's very narrow. But yeah, you've got these really tight streets and a lot, like if you've run Chicago, a lot of turns. So you've got a lot of tangents, a lot of traffic, a lot of turns, just a lot going on. So um, it's just a course that can be really fast. It's pretty flat, except for maybe Tower Bridge, which is about mile 12. And it does require a lot of patience, though, especially in the really there's some really congested areas, like around the 10K mark, the Cuddy Sark. There's a lot of spectator traffic, too. So it's just really overwhelming. A lot like if you've run New York, like how crazy it is through Brooklyn. It's a lot like that. So it's a feast for the eyes. There's a lot to see, a lot of spectator support, but go into it with a big dose of patience because it is really crowded and narrow. The course converges around the 5K mark. So that's something to kind of be mindful of. It won't feel very crowded in the beginning because they do a really good job with the wave starts. And it really kind of starts out in the boonies, like very neighborhoodish. So at first you'll feel like, oh, okay, this isn't so bad. But then the 5K hits and you'll have a convergence of like three starts, because there's three different start areas. At this point, you should have your bibs maybe with your colors and stuff. Yeah. So it's around the 5K mark that everybody kind of converges together. So that's kind of the first thing to be mindful of. Yeah, just a lot of great spectatorship, a lot to see. Very, I mean, you won't be bored on this course. That's for
One question I have for you, Nicole, if we start before the race even starts kind of thing,
sure.
what was it like going through security for you? Because we know
Great.
with the world major marathons,
Yep.
security lines can be quite long. What was your experience like? And how long maybe did it take you to get through, just so people can plan backwards to make sure they are not rushed or missing their wave start time,
Yeah.
etc.
Love it. Good question. I went through a tour group, so we had a private shuttle. So if you're taking public transportation, I cannot speak to that. I'm sorry. I would say, like any other big race, though, give yourself more time than you think you need.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Security, I don't remember it being a bottleneck at all. It
Okay.
seems pretty easy. One thing I will suggest, it's that the staging area is huge. It's like a
Mm-hmm.
large grassy field. There is nowhere to sit. Okay. And it's wet grass. So, what I like to do for these races is I go on Amazon and I buy those little Mylar blankets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can get those in like a pack of four for $5. They
Okay.
pack up really easy. You don't have to bring a towel or a blanket or pack anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that would be my suggestion. $5, go on Amazon, get a Mylar blanket. You've got something to sit on, you got something to wrap yourself around with. Security, I don't remember being a hassle at all. So, like always, though, give yourself extra time,
Mm-hmm.
bring layers. It's London, it's damp, it's wet. Okay.
Yeah, I like the
Yeah.
point about bringing some kind of blanket,
Mhm.
especially if there isn't somewhere to really sit. I give the same advice with most marathons, most world major marathons. Um, is yeah, like bring something to wrap around you. Some people bring shower curtains, like you can go to the dollar store,
Mhm.
shower curtains. Some people bring bathrobes to like, again, I haven't looked at the London weather yet. It's still a little too early at this point. We know that last year it was quite warm.
With
That has not always been the case in previous years. So, especially if people are traveling from, the United States over, like
mhm.
look at the weather before you leave and then pack accordingly. You'd rather have things and not need them than need them and not have them, right?
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. Yeah, I like those little Mylar blankets because they pack up really small. You don't have to bring a bathrobe across the pond with you. Right. So, um yeah, so uh even though it was really hot last year, it was still dreary and cloudy and cold in the morning. It just
Mm.
warmed up by the time 10 o'clock rolled around and um and we got going. So
What was your experience with like the aid stations? How close or far apart they were staged? Were people bottlenecking around them? Did you have any issues accessing any of the gels, fluids, whatever on the aid station tables, or did that seem like it was a pretty well-oiled machine?
they seemed pretty frequent enough. I always carry my own electrolytes and my own fluids, and I carry all my own. They do allow hydration packs there, so if that's something you are okay with. Again, my experience with the races overseas is that security-wise, they're a little more lax than the ones here.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, I carried my own, but because it was so hot, they did a fantastic job of having tons of water, ice, cooling runners down. Hopefully, you guys won't have what we had because I was running through the halfway mark around noon and it was
Mm-hmm.
70 degrees. So
Yeah.
that's not normal London weather. Can't be like that 2 years in a row. But yeah, they did a really good job of providing extra. You could tell they increased their level of support because it
Oh,
was so warm.
good.
Yeah.
Before I continue to ask questions, because I'm thinking of questions to ask on all these other Zoom calls that I help host, does anyone on the call have questions that they want to ask? Otherwise, I'll just keep rolling through some of the standard things people tend to want to know.
Yeah, and I'll just babble, so please ask questions.
Mhm.
No,
No one yet.
no one.
What's it like in terms of crossing the finish line and trying to meet up with friends, family, loved ones? Like that's again a question we get a lot. Is like, how easy is it to meet up with people? Is there like a family friend reunion, waiting area, what have you? Do you recall that at all?
I don't recall. I had friends who were just running it too, so I
Mhm.
didn't personally have like other family there on my own. Um, so no, I it's a really large park.
Mhm.
If I were to suggest, I would say probably meet outside. Like I get that they want to see you cross the finish line, but maybe find a spot outside the park to meet up. The walk
Mhm.
out of the park isn't very far,
Mhm.
but it's definitely a lot of people. And I didn't see a specific meeting area for family, like with, like some of the
Mhm.
races have like last name type of letters and stuff. I didn't see
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Say in
gear check was really easy.
Okay.
So if you want to do gear check, drop off and pickup were very easy. The pickup was like in the chute at the exit. Um, but yeah, it was very spread out. So I would recommend maybe meeting your family outside the park.
Mhm. In general, when I have athletes racing a big race like London, I always tell them like pick your meeting spot ahead of time. Like not the day of, not the morning of, that is only going to cause you additional stress.
Yeah.
Scope out a spot the day before, 2 days before. I'm sure people are traveling a few days in advance, given that people are hopping across the pond most likely. But just determine that meeting spot ahead of time. That way it is one less stressor that you need to think about on race day. I know
For
not everyone runs
sure.
with their phone. I don't run with a phone when I'm racing personally, but something my husband did for me when I ran Berlin in September, he actually put an air tag in the back of my shorts in a pocket because I don't have my phone on me. I don't run with music or anything. And so we were very easily able to meet up with one another because he literally had a tracker on me. And like they're this big, they weigh nothing.
Yeah.
Um, so that was, yeah.
That's a really smart idea. I love that idea. And even if you do have your phone, there's so much network congestion and people trying to reach each other that there's no guarantee you can even, you know,
Mhm.
texts sometimes don't even go through, things like
Mhm.
that. So yeah, definitely have a meeting spot ahead of time. Yeah.
Did you notice any GPS watch glitchiness? And the only reason I ask is like people always mention like Chicago, don't trust your watch for the first 3, 4 miles. I was actually perfectly okay when I ran Chicago. Like my watch did not glitch, but as we know, with 50, 60,000 runners in big places, I just wasn't sure if that was something you encountered when running London, any
Did
GPS.
not did not encounter that like you do with Chicago or New York. You don't go through any big tunnels either, maybe a couple of underpasses, but I did not recall any congestion.
Mhm.
Um, Going back to spectators real quick,
Mhm.
I think a really good idea, and if I had to do it all over again, with my friends that had their family there, I would say use one of those Uber boats to move around versus the tube. It gets really congested, and there's so many places along the River Thames where you can get on and off an Uber boat.
Mhm.
I would do that for your spectators, for your family and friends, because I think that's a much easier way to go.
That's so cool, an Uber boat.
I know. Yeah. They have Uber boats and different like types of water taxis. So anything like that, but it's so easy to get on and off those. You can buy a day pass for like equivalent of $30, I think.
And what about, again, just thinking of questions we typically get on these calls, what about the expo? How easy was it to pick up your bib, etc., all that jazz for the expo?
Very easy. It is kind of far. Well, I guess it depends on where you're staying. So, I mean, I stayed in Westminster, which is walking distance to the finish, about a 3/4 mile walk back to my
Mhm.
hotel, and it was a couple of it was a trek on by train to get to the expo. It's at a convention center. I don't recall what the name is, but it was a bit of a trek, a couple of different stops. So yeah, just give yourself plenty of time. I don't recall it being anything too unusual though. Yeah.
I should say most world major marathon race
Yeah.
expos are zoos. There are lines to
Yeah.
get in. It is stimulating. It is overwhelming. You can
Yeah.
spend a lot of time in the expo, which for my, it's hard. If it's your first like world major marathon, like soak it up, but also like be mindful of like not getting 20,000 steps on your feet the day before.
Hmm.
So like I
Yeah.
was with one of my athletes today who is racing Boston. She is driving into Boston on the Saturday. And I was like, please tell me you're picking up your bib on Saturday and not on Sunday, the day before.
Yeah.
Like, if you can get your bib, not the day immediately preceding the race. That is always what I recommend because you don't really want to be on your feet the day before the race. You want to be horizontal on your hotel bed, doing your carb load. You want to have gotten whatever steps you're going to put on your body the day before so that the day before the race is complete relaxation. So, Eric, I
Yeah.
see you on the call. If you can grab your bib, not the day before the race, that is what I would suggest.
Yeah, I would go on Friday versus Saturday. Always
So
go the 2 day. Yeah, I'm one of those people that go like right when it opens. So I typically, except for Berlin, I went through the craziness of that, but most of the time I'm there like right when the doors open.
Mhm.
Yeah, to avoid that mess. So I did wait in the big long line for my jacket.
Mhm.
I didn't do the pre-order. I usually always do the pre-order on those, and I didn't. And I waited for about 45 minutes for a jacket. So, just again, the theme with all of these races, with the majors in general, is it's patience, patience, patience. Yeah.
Mhm. And knowing these things can take time to get
Mhm.
to the convention center, to get in line, to get your
Yeah.
bib, your jacket, whatever gear you may want to buy. That's again just why I recommend not doing it the day before the race because you might just run out of time. And like I like to eat my dinner like personally the day before the race at like 5. And then I do like a snack or like a second light dinner the night before, or sorry, a little later on in the evening. But it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to be at the expo till 5:30 and then okay, now I'm not even getting to the restaurant until 7 and then it's going to take 2 hours to serve me. Now it's 9. It's like yeah.
Yeah.
So the earlier you can get things done, typically
For
the better.
sure.
Yeah.
Yep. For sure. Do you guys have any questions specifically about the course? I mean, I kind of gave a pretty good overview. Um, spectator
Is
wise,
it, I don't know if it's like New York. New York, the bridges, they killed me. There were so many. Is it only just that one bridge, right?
yeah, it's basically
It's
just
like just
Tower Bridge is right before the half marathon point. Um, it's bananas though. It's not like the bridges at New York where there's no one on them. And it's kind of a respite of quietness at those bridges. The like Tower Bridge is full of people. So, because you've got spectators lining it too. So it's not a quiet respite on that bridge. It's bananas. They have a ton of photographers on it too. So just look, there's photographers everywhere on the bridge. So
Just
yeah, that bridge is not as it's not as big as anything in New York.
I might just quickly share my screen because I have the course map open in front of me. So I have never run London, as I said, but it looks like you start on a little downhill. Like, so
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
you go down
Yeah.
a little bit,
Mhm.
flat, 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 flat. This looks to be what I'm assuming is Tower Bridge around 12.34 miles. So
Yep, that would
just
be it.
before.
Yeah, it's a blip.
Yep, exactly. Like
Yep.
that is not a big hill, right?
No, it's bigger than anything on Chicago, but not nearly as big as anything at New York. Yeah,
Exactly. Like I'm
yeah,
seeing these little micro blips that are like speed bumps on the road.
yeah. It
Um,
is fast, and I don't even remember that downhill in the beginning. So yeah, it probably was pretty. Yeah, it wasn't anything.
just a minus
Wasn't
2%
it,
grade heading down there.
yeah,
So
it wasn't anything too remarkable.
okay. I just wanted to point that out because I had never really looked at the London map before.
Mhm.
And I'm like, that must be Tower Bridge right there. And it is a tiny little blip. So
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
not note at anyone.
The main thing with the course is because it's so crowded and narrow. Um, it's a lot of turns. It was one of my longest races. It was 26.55. I checked my Strava this morning. So it
Is
was
there
one of
in a tangent line? Because I know that is a thing with some other
yeah.
races.
They have the blue line, they have all that. It's so many people, it's hard um, to see that on the ground and, really just to choose your line.
Mhm.
It's pretty crowded. So yeah, 26.55 was my overall mileage. That's my longest of any of the majors I've run, including New
Does
York.
everyone here on the call know what we're mean when we say like run the tangents? Does everyone kind of know what we're getting
Okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
at? To
And
take
the
it that
blue line is something all the major marathons have, which is the shortest line on the course. So
Mhm.
if you can kind of follow the blue line, the better thing to do is kind of just look ahead at the traffic and see which way it's moving. and gradually sort of make your way over, like, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if you have intentions on PRing, just know that you're going to put a couple tenths on that.
Mhm.
So add that to your overall strategy.
Yeah. And just because, again, I mentioned I was chatting to one of my athletes about Boston earlier today. Something that I was sharing with her is like the first 3 miles, 5K, very congested in Boston, very narrow in Boston. And why I'm telling that again here is that I tell, and this is, I guess, directed at you, Erica, because I coach you, but just in general for people, it's like, don't be freaking out if in the first couple kilometers, the first few miles, you are not hitting your goal marathon pace. It is congested. It is busy. It is going to take a while to thin out a little bit. You've also mentioned, I think, around the 5K mark, you said things converge a little bit. So
Yeah.
waste extra energy, like trying to weave around people to make up that 1 to 2 seconds per mile. Like the energy that you will waste is probably going to exceed the time that you are going to lose. Like when I ran Boston for the first time in 2022, I don't even think I hit my goal marathon pace for the first 3 miles or 5K. And I was like, and it probably saved my legs going slower on those
Mhm.
downhills because it was so congested. But what I would say to people, it's like, don't stress.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You're running a world major marathon. You all know what you signed up for. It's going to be busy. It's going to be congested. I'm sure at some point things will thin out a little bit and you'll be able to like claim your spot and have your
Cool.
space. But I would avoid like the weaving and like panicking about not hitting your pace early on, because you'll probably lose more energy than you'll save.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
Mhm.
good advice for any race for sure. But yeah,
Mhm.
especially these majors. Yeah.
Any other questions from anyone on the call? I know it's a small group today.
I had a quick question. I know we mentioned there's a lot of congestion throughout the course. Is there a good point in the course that the water stations become a little bit less congested, or would you recommend bringing like a small handheld to kind of skip out on having to stop at those? I'm attempting to PR on the course, so I don't want to
Yeah.
get congested at a water station, just be hanging out trying to rehydrate.
The good news is the water stations are plentiful. They're really long. Um, oh, here's a fun fact about this race. They don't use paper cups. They use little tiny plastic bottles.
Hmm.
Yeah, which is different. So I kind of liked it because it makes it easier to sip and you can hold it without it, sloshing all over the place. You don't have to just shoot it down. You can carry it with you a little bit if you want to.
I
Uh,
also just in the
yeah,
chat, favorite handheld flasks are made by a Hydra Pack. They
yeah.
are collapsible. They are a soft flask. They come in a 500 mil, which is the one I linked. There's also a 350 mil. So if you just, want to get a little bit of electrolytes, a little bit of fluids,
I'll
I put,
grab one.
oh, they're so good
Yeah, I'll
because
grab one out of my
oh,
cabinet
you're
here.
grabbing mine.
Yeah, I think I have. Let me see if I have a clean one. I have a few. I have one in my refrigerator, like this.
Exactly. They
Yeah.
are the best. And
So
as you sip on it,
this is a 550. You can get them like with a handle or without. And sometimes I always carry one of these because I carry my own electrolytes because I have one of those stomachs that can't handle like anything new on race day. So so
and it's nice.
I carry my own.
It
Yeah.
can fit into the palm of your hand after you drink it. So like it really does collapse and then it can fit in your shorts pocket.
You
So
can tuck it in the back of your shorts. Yeah.
yeah, they are the best handheld flasks on the market, in my opinion. As Nicole said, as someone who carries my own high carbon fuel on me, I don't rely on the aid stations because I have 100 grams of carbs in my
Yeah.
flask.
Yeah.
I haven't perfected like the swiping the cups and like pinching and like it just ends up all over me. So I just bring.
Yeah. So this race, you don't even have to swipe or you don't even have to pinch cups. They have like these tiny little bottles. So if you want to just put this cap back on and carry it with you, you can. But yeah, to your question, Bobby, I would I carry my own, and then I supplement with water. So
Okay.
yeah, but if you haven't practiced carrying your own, you got a couple more runs to do still, but that's just the way I've been doing marathons for years. I always carry my own. But the good news is they have a ton of water stations, so I don't think even if you have to grab your own, you're not going to be like waiting.
Mhm.
I don't think.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, I'm just trying to pre-plan. I don't know the weather conditions yet, and I live in Florida, so I'm a little bit used to the heat, but I know I'm a heavy sweater, so I don't want to get late in the course and uh, realize I skipped all the water stations because they were busy, and then I'm stuck in the middle of the marathon dehydrated. So
No, you don't want that. In
Well,
my
and it's
yeah,
chill.
in my opinion, like putting a coaching hat on, it's always better to take that extra 10 or 15 seconds
Mhm.
to grab what you need in the
Mhm.
grand scheme of things than
And
forego
I
than
think
to
similar.
forego your hydration.
Yeah, I tell my athletes like just get on your regular rhythm, whether it's you're taking your gel, sipping from your high carb, your flask, whatever. It's like you don't want to wait until you need fuel or need fluids or whatever to
Yeah.
take it in. Cause at that point, it's like you probably are experiencing a little bit of dehydration. You're probably low on electrolytes, whatever. It's like just get on that regular schedule so that you are not missing carb, electrolyte, whatever. It's like, yeah, you don't want to wait till you need it to take it.
Never catch up once you're behind.
It's very hard to catch up. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. That
Yeah.
was a question. Any other ones that come to mind for anyone on the call?
I'm trying to think. We covered this. We covered the start in the staging area.
Mhm.
You could be waiting a couple of hours. Bring snacks.
Bring extra snacks, extra gels,
Mhm. Yep.
especially eating your breakfast at like 6 a.m. or 7
Yeah.
a.m. Like some athletes, again, this athlete that I was talking to today, but Boston, like eat a second breakfast, eat one in the
Hmm.
hotel room, eat one on the bus, or eat one in athletes village. Um,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Bring snacks. You don't want to be sitting there on for like 2 or 3 hours on an empty stomach by the time you start.
Mhm.
So bring your snacks. They have plenty of spots to refill your water and things like that. Like any big race, the porta potties are going to be super crowded if you wait 30 minutes before. So, you know, do your biz and then stop consuming fluids for like the hour before. In my opinion, you probably don't need it at that point. Just drink what you need beforehand, go to the bathroom, and then just stop drinking until you're on the course. Um, and yeah, they have plenty of all of that, but you don't want to be waiting those big lines right before 30 minutes before the race. So, hi Tim.
Oh, hey, Lena. Sorry, I
Hey,
was a little busy, couldn't make it on time.
that's
No,
okay.
that's okay. We've recorded the call, so you'll be able to watch it back. I'll share the link with you, and then you can catch up on anything that you missed there.
Yeah. But yeah, bring something to sit on, bring throwaway clothes, snacks, get your hydration in you. And yeah, the staging area, it's a well-oiled machine. They let people in like, by wave or,
Mhm.
um, it's massive. It's massive.
Lots of volunteers to help direct people, like if they don't know where they should be based on their bib color, wave number,
Yeah. It's
etc.
it's massive, but yeah, it's very easy. It's easy to understand, even though it's a big, big staging area. Yeah.
Tim, did you have any questions? We've covered a lot, but I'm sure we can happily repeat something. Is there
Not at
any?
the moment. I mean, I guess my only thing is I get asked where spectators should be. I mean, obviously that's not a me thing, but I'm asked
Mhm.
that question. I'm like, I have no idea. I am on the course. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you have any insight on that of like
Yeah. So
something that
I
someone said that this did or did not work, how the tube was for spectators' sake.
Yeah, I had mentioned based on I only ran it once last year, and based on my experience last year, I would advise spectators to maybe use the Uber boat or the water taxis instead of the tube, to kind of just move on down the river. Because that's the course. I mean, you look at the course; it runs around the river in various spots. So, um, like around Greenwich is really busy and crowded. So if they want to spectate around the 10K mark, that's like a really busy spot. But once I think, in my opinion, a really good spot where they can hit you twice is when you get over the bridge, Tower Bridge. That's right before the half marathon point. You're gonna run away from the city for a while before you come back. So they could see you like at mile 13, come back in an hour and a half or however long it takes you to get back and see you again like at mile 18 or whatever that is. Yeah. I'd have to look specifically at the course, but you'll see where I'm talking about at the end of Tower Bridge, right around the Tower of London and Tower Bridge. They can see you twice in the same spot on two directions. They can go have lunch or something while you're out there without ever having to really go anywhere else. And then just get back on that Uber boat or water taxi or tube, head back toward the finish. And then anywhere along that tree line street between like 20 and the finish, just kind of keep following you along. That would be my recommendation.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Any other thoughts, comments, questions from anyone on the call?
I was on another call regarding the London Marathon. Just want to note, not for the race day, but I think there's some planned strikes for public transportation between the 21st to the 24th. So for picking up your bib, the tube might be a bit of a headache. And on the day of the marathon, if I'm not mistaken, they're still doing a thing where if you're wearing your race bib, you can get on the tube for free in terms of getting around as well.
Nice.
Yeah, in fact, I think that's the entire weekend. I could check on that, but I know for sure race day you can take the tube for free. Yeah, for sure. But that's good intel about strikes. Ubers are plentiful too, so if you want to take an Uber to the expo from your hotel, they're really easy. Yeah, they're everywhere. So, yeah.
Any other thoughts or questions? How's everyone feeling? What is it? 13 days out. Feeling pretty good? Excited? Vibes are high?
So excited to be tapering.
Yeah.
I mean, lucky for you guys, like getting in. I have applied for lottery through London for like 6 years, and every year I get the same denied. So
I used up all my karma for this. Nothing good is ever happening again.
1.7% chance, I think it was.
Yeah.
So,
I'll just try it next year. We'll see.
Yeah.
I did a charity.
You went charity?
Right. Yes, you're doing a charity, Eric. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I raised money for Young Lives versus Cancer. They liked I do pediatric hospice. They liked my little story that I had to submit.
I love that.
Honestly, it wasn't bad compared to what I had to raise for
New York.
No, Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. Oh.
I raised money for Chicago, and then New York, fine, and then Berlin I got in through the lottery.
Nice. Well, obviously you're a good fundraiser. I feel like if I doubled or triple dipped with my family, they'd be like, no, we did once. You're good.
I did a comedy show.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
so we have like a local pizza place, and they have like the comedians that want to get inside Boston. I live right in the suburbs outside Boston, but who want to like get in Boston, they'll donate their time to get like publicity. So they donate their time, and like everyone bought tickets to go.
That's amazing.
That's very cool. Yeah. You guys are gonna have a great experience. It's the course it's chock full of things to like. There's so much to see, and the crowds are amazing. Knock on wood, you can't have hot weather in London 2 years in a row, you know. Hopefully it'll be a nice, cool, overcasty London gloom for you guys. Yeah.
You have like borderline goosebumps at the start line of a race. It's going to be a good day.
Yeah.
I'll add London to my weather app in a little while, but too early to be checking at this point. So much can change in 2 weeks. So
yeah, another fun thing about this race, apparently it's like where a lot of people go to like do Guinness Book of World Record stuff. So you'll see all kinds of crazy costumes and a lot of just.
Hopefully they just don't get in your way. That's the only thing.
Yeah, just a lot of kind of weird stuff.
Great. You can
Yeah, the fastest person going for the fastest whatever, dressed as a whatever, you know.
Did you see the guy for Boston? He's running it barefoot.
He's running barefoot, yeah.
We seen him running in my neighborhood the other day.
Yeah, I saw the pineapple guy at Berlin. Yeah, he runs with a pineapple on his head. Yeah, so it's there's a lot to see. Yeah, it's good.
Right. Well, if there are no other questions, I mean, like we factor in an hour, but some calls are literally 30 minutes, some are 40 minutes. We had a pretty small group here today. Just know that my athletes, I will be connecting with you one-on-one before race day, regardless. So if you do think of additional questions, send me an email. I can try to sleuth the answers, even though I have not personally run London. I have friends and athletes who have. But wishing you guys all the best in your taper, carb up, mileage, intensity, everything decreases. Do not look at the weather yet. It is too early. And yeah, so excited and slightly jealous that you guys are all heading to London. I'll just keep putting my name in the lottery. So
You'll get there.
For offering your time, experience and expertise. I couldn't have done this alone. I would have been talking out my butt. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Hopefully I imparted, like I said, I'm not an expert. I ran it once, but hopefully I imparted some
One more time than me. So there you go.
Okay.
All right. Everyone, have a great evening.
Thank you.
Thanks.